Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where are you located right now. And welcome to this webinar with the Spain-US Chamber of Commerce in collaboration with Bravent. Today, we are going to talk about artificial intelligence and specifically about OpenAI in business. Which is a very trending topic that I'm sure that in the following months, I won't say even years, this will become a norm and everybody will be using some form of artificial intelligence in their daily lives. So we are really excited about talking about this topic today. But before we start and deep into the topic, I just would like to thank all the attendees to spend this time with us and encourage them to follow the Spain-US Chamber of Commerce and all the activities that we host during the year. We organize not only webinars like this one, but also in-person events, usually around South Florida. And we try to cover many different topics. So I encourage you to check our website, which is www.spainuschamber.com, to check all the activities and events that we are preparing and organizing for the upcoming months. For those of you that are not familiar with the Spain-US Chamber of Commerce, we are a nonprofit organization that help their members to develop their businesses in the United States and also in Spain. So that's the reason why we try to cover many different topics that are in the best interest, not only of our members, which are companies from many different industries, but also to the community. We would like to share with all the community the knowledge that experts like the one that we have with us today could explain and could guide us in this interesting theme or topics. No? So thank you so much for spending this time with us. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Bravent, which is our company today, the one that will be talking about artificial intelligence. And for those who are not familiar with the company, Bravent is a Microsoft IT consulting partner born in 2013 that offers customers technology solutions that help them meet their business objectives. They offer 360-degree service, accompanying companies in every step on their digital transformation. Bravent has developed projects in a wide portfolio of technology services, from artificial intelligence, data analytics, Power Platform, mixed reality with HoloLens, Dynamics 365, Azure Cloud, cybersecurity, among many others. They have offices in Spain, United States, and Qatar. And today we have with us Mario Lopez, which is a computer engineer with more than 10 years of experience in projects using Microsoft technologies. Mario works as Chief Innovation Officer in Bravent, which belongs to a very TI group, where he leads projects with artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, and mixed reality. He applied the most recent technologies to improve and solve the various problems that companies face across a range of different sectors to ensure the success of those projects. And some of the projects that he has been involved with has been with Real Madrid, which I'm sure many of you know about that Spanish soccer team, Toyota, FNAC, and Otis Elevator Company, among others. So thank you so much, Mario, for being with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much, Juan Carlos. Thank you for the presentation.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Before we start, I will remind everyone that this webinar is going to be recorded. So you will be able to get this recording via email and also in our YouTube channel so that you could share whatever it's discussed today with your colleagues and friends which I'm sure that many of the things that we're going to discuss with Mario today are going to be very interesting, and you will be very interested in sharing that with your colleagues. So this will be recorded and the presentation will be also shared. And of course, as always, we will have a Q&A part so that you could send your questions, and we'll review all the questions at the end of the presentation. You don't need to wait until the end to send the questions. You could send those questions during the whole presentation, but we will address them at the end. And in order to send the questions, you just need to click on the tab that says questions on the control panel that probably will be on your right side of the screen. So locate the questions tab, click there, write your question and send it to us. We will receive all the questions and address all of them at the end of the presentation. And yeah, without further ado, Mario, thank you so much, and I'll leave the floor to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Juan Carlos. Thank you for, as I said, for the presentation. And yeah, today we will be talking about artificial intelligence, and we will be talking about OpenAI. What is OpenAI? What are the services that we have inside OpenAI? And how we can use this technology in our company or in different use cases. So let's go ahead. Let me continue with this next slide. So first, let's talk about OpenAI and generative AI. OpenAI is a company that was born in 2019. This is something that is not new. And this is not a company that belongs to Microsoft, because right now we are seeing a lot of news about Microsoft and OpenAI because they signed a partnership, but OpenAI is not a company that belongs to Microsoft. OpenAI is a non-profit organization. It's a company that, as I said, was born in 2019, and they started to work in different AI algorithms. They start to work in different services to provide to all the people, and this is the biggest change that we saw. The biggest change is how easy it is right now to use artificial intelligence for every person with no expertise in technology, with nothing to know about programming or anything else, just enter into a website or just using a service. We are able to access to the services, we are able to send some information, and we are able to use the artificial intelligence. So what I want to explain today is what are the services that we have, how we can use these services, and please, if you are not doing that, start to use the artificial intelligence, because for sure I know that will save a lot of time and at the end a lot of money in your task, in your daily task, and also for your free time, and for sure for your company. So generative AI, what allow us is to generate different things, allow us to generate pictures or images, allow us to generate text. But the most interesting thing for me is the natural language processing, is how the machine is able to understand what we are saying. And this is so important because we are seeing bots or chatbots from, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago. We were working for several projects for virtual assistant or chatbots. And the amount of effort that we were doing to create the best chatbot and the most intelligent chatbot was really amazing. You cannot imagine the time that we spent to understand everything that the people were sending to us and to send the correct answer, the right answer to the question. This was so difficult. And with a service from OpenAI, we are able to understand very good. This service that is very powerful. We will be able to understand everything, and we will be able to send the right information or the right answer to the question that the people are sending to us. So this is something that is so important. So first of all, let's talk about the different services that started to appear in the last few years. As I was saying, this company started in 2019, and in the same year, they signed a contract, OpenAI and Microsoft, they signed that partnership, and they started to work together. Right now, we are starting to see a lot of news about Microsoft and OpenAI. I will talk a little bit about that. But the most interesting thing here is that we have all the services through Microsoft for our companies, and also all the services that OpenAI are running are in the Microsoft cloud. So this is so important for us because we will have the privacy, we will have the security of Microsoft when we will be using these services. So this is so important for us and for our company. After that, in 2022, we started to see some tools from Microsoft, like Microsoft Designer, and one probably very interesting thing, because probably you saw on the news or you start to use this tool, is ChatGPT. ChatGPT appeared in 2022. It was the first tool or the first service with the biggest amount of users. So imagine the hype that we have around these services. A lot of people are starting to use this service because it's very, very powerful, the things that we can do with that. So this was probably the biggest achievement for the company, for OpenAI. After that, we started to see in 2023, in January, we started to see the OpenAI service in Azure, in the Microsoft cloud. Azure is the Microsoft cloud, and we started to see the service for general availability in the Azure cloud. We saw also the expansion of the partnership, as I said, between Microsoft and OpenAI, and this was something very interesting because Microsoft is certifying the privacy, the security, everything from our company when we are using OpenAI services. And after that, we started to see also another products, a lot of products. I was talking before the presentation that probably I will need to modify the presentation because we are seeing news every day. So I have to change everything. But the latest news or the latest products that we saw with the integration of OpenAI was were Teams, were Viva, and the last tool that is public is Bing. Is the Finder from Microsoft, where we have integrated OpenAI and where we are able to find anything that we want on internet, but using, in this case, GPT from OpenAI. So now let's talk about what it means, the partnership. As I was saying, that here the most interesting thing is that we will have the services available for our company through Microsoft. If we want to use directly OpenAI, we can. We can go directly to openai.com. I think that is the website, and we can start using the services that we have, that are GPT, Codex, DALL-E, and ChatGPT. I will talk a little bit in the next slides. But here you have to know that all the information that you are sending to OpenAI is public, and OpenAI could use this information to train the model, and all this information will be available for the rest of the people around the world. So be in mind that if you are sending information from your company to OpenAI, this information will be public. This is something that is completely different if you are using the services in Microsoft, in the Microsoft cloud, in Azure, as I was saying. Because in Microsoft, we will have our own service, our own OpenAI service, only for us, and the information will be owned by us. And this is so important because if we are sending information that is private or is something confidential from our company, we need to know where is our information and if it's secure or not, and this kind of thing. So this is something that is so important. If you want to use the services from OpenAI for your company, you should check the services that you have available in Microsoft, and you will be able to start using and integrating all the services in your company. So What we have in OpenAI are these 4 services that I will explain. That is GPT, Codex, DALI, and ChatGPT. So let's start with DALI. DALI is a service that could generate images from a text prompt. So imagine that we send something, or we send a description like this, a landscape photography of a highway in a green field, blah, blah, blah. We type what we want, we send all information to the service, to DALI, and we will receive this picture or this image. So imagine the possibilities and imagine the power of the service for marketing, designers, many different, for me, when we start to think about different use cases, probably we will have thousands of different use cases. And as much as we are talking with different clients, we are start to seeing more use cases, because the as I was saying, the power of the service is really amazing. So as I was saying, we are able to send a description, and in just a few seconds, we will receive an image. Something that is so important is that we are not using a bank of images and we are choosing one. No, the service is not working in that way. What the service is doing is that we are sending the description that we want, and the service is able to generate from scratch, is able to generate the picture for us, and the picture will be owned by us. So if we send the information to the service and we will receive the picture, we will be able to use it, for example, in our website or in our social networks. So as I was saying, imagine the possibilities that we have about that. Now let's talk about cats. Here I want your attention in the description. Here we have a cat playing online video games and having, this is the most important thing, having network problems. We don't have cats in our real life working video games, and we don't have probably images of cats with this expression, with this face expression. So here you have to understand that the service is understanding what we are saying, that we are asking for a cat playing video game, but having network problems. So the service in this case was able to create this picture only for us. So as I was saying, when I saw this image, for me was incredible, because the possibilities and the power of that is really, really, really amazing. Now let's talk about GPT. Probably if you were reading some news about GPT, we are seeing a lot of changes, because when GPT was launched, it was the third version, GPT-3. But now this week, we are seeing a lot of news about GPT-4. GPT-4 is starting to be available. It's in private preview, but we will be able to start using in just, I think, couple of weeks, we will be able to start using GPT-4. And here the main change is that in GPT-4, the amount of knowledge that we have, if you compare with GPT-3, is incredible. It's much bigger GPT-4 than GPT-3. Also, the biggest change is that GPT-4 is multimodal. And what it means is that we will be able to send to GPT everything that we want, a picture, a text, an audio, a video, whatever we want. And GPT will be able to understand what we are sending to the service, and the service will be able to answer anything that we want in the same way. The service will be able to provide us a text, a video, a picture, or an audio. So imagine the possibilities that we can send to the service, and the response that we can receive. Here, the use cases that we can imagine are completely incredible. So GPT, the main feature of GPT is that is able to understand everything that we are seeing, we are sending to the service. For example, here we are using the playground. The playground is the application that you can use to try the service, to try GPT. And in this case, we are sending to the machine, okay, summarize this for a second grade student. And we are sending a paragraph, we are sending a test. So the service is able to understand that we are asking for summarize this text and for a second grade student. So the service is able to understand everything that we are sending and is able to answer with what we are asking to the service. And in this case, for a second grade student. So here, the power also of the service is really incredible. Also, we can use the service to translate. We have many different languages. In this case, we are translating to Spanish, but we can use for any other. We can use for Arabic, for Chinese, for whatever we want. We can send the information in English, for example, and in this case, we are asking to the service to translate into Spanish. But as I was saying, we can send information in Spanish and we can ask for something in English. We can do whatever we want because the machine will be able to understand everything that we are sending and will be able to answer about anything that we want. So as I was saying, imagine the possibilities. Now let's talk about ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a tool where we have GPT integrated in a chat. What we can do with ChatGPT is that we have a conversation in the same way that we are having in WhatsApp, for example, or with a text or whatever. In the same way, we are able to send different information to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will be able to store the information that we were sending before. So we are storing the context, and ChatGPT in this case will be able to answer with the information that we sent previously. But in the same way, it's completely or exactly the same to GPT. So here, what we have in ChatGPT is totally the same. The only or the main difference is that we will be able to talk in the same way that we will do with a person or with a machine, but storing the conversation and storing the context. As I was saying, ChatGPT is public. If you want to try, you can go directly to the website. It's chat.openai.com, if I'm not wrong, and you can go there. I think that you have to use an email account or whatever, and you can start using directly ChatGPT because it's free and you will be able to ask about anything that you want. Here you have several examples about what you can ask, but as I was saying, you can ask for everything that you want. So now let's see how we can integrate this service in our company, or how we can use for our personal life. And this is probably the most interesting thing about the webinar, about how we can use it. We have three different ways. We have the simple one, using directly the Azure, the OpenAI service. We have the fine-tune that we will have the service with our own information, and we have the most complex way, that is with data connected, data from our company, for example, or whatever we want. So let's see in detail how we can use it. Here we have the simple, the generic use case. And as I was saying, this is the most simple use case. In this case, we are just asking, or we are just sending a message to OpenAI, and OpenAI will understand what we are asking and will be able to answer the question that we are doing. Here, one important thing is that, sorry, because I forgot it, GPT was trained with all the information that we have around internet. The public service that we have right now available, GPT-3, was trained until 2021. So what it means is that if we ask about something that happened last year or this year, for example, the service won't be able to answer this question because it doesn't have the information. Probably what will do the service is that probably the service will answer with something that doesn't exist, because the service will try to answer everything that we want, but sometimes if it doesn't have the information, probably it will say something that doesn't exist. But what we saw this week, as I was saying about GPT-4, is that GPT-4 will have more knowledge and will be trained, I think, until this year or until last year. So we will have much more information, and we will be able to ask about anything that we want. So now let's talk about the fine tune. For me, this is one of the most interesting use case, and probably most of the use cases that we have in our company will be in that way, because in the fine tune we can take the GPT model that we have available, but we can send our own knowledge, the knowledge from our company. So imagine that we are a travel agency, for example, and we want to sell trips, I don't know, to Spain, for example. So we can train the model with GPT, with all the information from our company, with our services, and with all the information that we want. So after that, all the users or our clients, when they are asking questions to our OpenAI service, the service will answer with the information from our company. So here, imagine the possibilities that we have and how easy it is to do that. Believe me, that if we want a chatbot or an assistant using OpenAI with our information, is very, 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 very easy, because the only thing that we need to do is send all the information to the service, train the model, and after that we will be able to use it. Because as I was saying, GPT was trained with all the information, with all the knowledge that we have around the internet, and the power of understanding our language is incredible. And this is the most interesting thing, because if the service is able to understand what we are saying, and we have the information, we'll be able to answer that. So this is the most interesting thing, and for me, as I was saying, most of the use cases that we will have probably in our company will be something like this. And the latest one, this is probably the most interesting thing, and also the most complex, as you can imagine, because here we have other services. We have the OpenAI service, but we have connected OpenAI to other services that we can have in our company, or that we can integrate, for example, to do a semantic search. So if a user is asking about something that we don't have, imagine that a user is asking about a document, about a contract, for example. So OpenAI will be able to understand the question from the user, and OpenAI will be able to send the question or the request to other services that we have in our company, or other services that we are integrating, and we'll be able to get the information and send back the information to the user, the right information. So here, imagine the possibilities that we have. This is a more complex use case, but this is something that we are right now applying for many different clients. Here, what we have is an OCR system. An OCR system, if you don't know, is understanding what we have in a document, in a PDF, for example. And we are doing this use case for invoices. Imagine that I don't know, you are selling energy, for example, and you have thousands or millions of invoice, and your clients are asking for an explanation, for example, to understand in a better way an invoice, or why we have this amount in our invoice, or whatever we want. So using OpenAI, we will be able, of course, to understand what the user is saying, but we will be able to integrate with other services, in this case with OCR. We will be able to analyze our document, for example, as I was saying, a PDF, and we will be able to explain what we have inside the documents, and we will be able to explain everything to the user, and after that the user will be able to ask any question that we have about it. So here again, imagine the possibilities that we have integrating these services in our company. And this is the latest one connected with data. This is the most complex because here we have many different services. I don't want to bother you with very technical information, but here what I want to explain you is that we can use OpenAI to several things. In this case, we are using also OpenAI to transform the language from the user to, in this case, a vector search or a SQL query, for example, or whatever we want, to ask for the right information or for the right data to our services and to get the information and to send again the information here with OpenAI to the user. So here we can integrate, as I was saying, everything that we want. We can connect it to all the services that we have in our company, or we can create more services because this is an API. So just using OpenAI, we can connect with all the services that we want. And what I want to explain to you also is that imagine the possibilities that we have integrating these services in our company. And now let's talk about different use cases. As I was saying at the beginning, every day we are starting to see new use cases, and probably after you start using OpenAI by your own, you start to think about many other different use cases because the different, as I was saying again, the different use cases where we can apply this technology is really, really amazing. It's really, really incredible. So we are, we have here 4 different columns, and this is more or less how we are classifying the different use cases that we have with OpenAI. In one side, we have the content generation. This is probably the easiest use case to generate content. As I was saying, we can generate images or text. So imagine the possibilities, for example, for a call center to automatically generate a response, or imagine, for example, for a website, if we want to create a post about our services, we can ask directly to OpenAI to write a post or a contract or whatever we want. Also, we can generate personalized UI for your website. We can send, the other day that was talking with a client, they told me that they started to use OpenAI to design the booth that they are creating for the different fairs and for the different events that they have this year. And they are sending the information to the OpenAI service, and after just a few seconds, they receive some ideas that they can start using to create another different thing, or to directly use the same design that they received from OpenAI. And in summarization, we have other different cases. For call center, for example, we can analyze all the information that we are receiving, and we can do a summary of what the client or the customer are sending to us. One feature, for example, that Microsoft has included in Teams, I don't know if you are familiar or you use Teams, but something that you have right now available is that they have integrated OpenAI in Teams, and after a meeting, the service will send us a summary of the meeting that we had, and also the key points. So imagine the time that we can save if we receive after the meeting all the information, all the important information that we need, and also the key points. If we have some task or we have to do something, we will receive all the information. So we can apply for summarization in many different ways. This is one use case that where Microsoft is applying this. Also, we can use for document summarization. For example, this is something we are using in our company for financial reporting, for contracts, for all the documents that we receive. For example, we are starting to use for the resumes that we are receiving for the different positions that we have opened in what we have opened in our company. So we are sending directly the resumes to the service, and after just a few seconds, we are able to receive a summarization or an analysis or whatever we want, and we can ask any question that we have to OpenAI after sending the resumes. Also, we can use, of course, for social media to do summarization, to study the trends, whatever we want. Something that also is very important is for code generation. I think that you are not very technical, so I don't want to explain a lot about that, but you should know that also we can use for code generation. If you have developers or if you are a developer, you can use directly OpenAI in your code just for develop. And also one very interesting thing for me is the documentation, because for developers, something that is very important is to do a good documentation to understand our code and to reuse it in the future. So this is something that we can do automatically using OpenAI. Also for semantic search, we can use it for search reviews, for example, for a specific product. This is one use case that we did for a client. For example, we have a client in the hospitality industry. It's a hotel or a resort, and we are analyzing all the reviews that they are receiving for in the hotel. So imagine here the time that we are saving and the money that we are saving, because we are receiving all the reviews and we are able to search inside the reviews. We are able to search anything that we want, and we are able to summarize or an overall feedback or whatever we want. Also, we can use for knowledge mining. This is another use case that we are working with another client to search all the information that we have in the documents in our company. So imagine also here the possibilities. If we want to search about a contract that we have in our company, about the company, the name of the company that we have in one specific document in a contract, for example. So we, using OpenAI, we will be able to search inside all the documents, inside all the information, and we will be able directly to send the right document or the right information to the user. So as I was saying, imagine the possibilities that we have and the thousands or millions of use cases that we can create. Here we have other use cases for an end-to-end call center. I think that call center is probably the first industry or the first area where we are applying because it's very simple, where we are applying OpenAI, also for customer 360 for hyper personalization. And one of the most important use cases is for business process automation. For example, what we are doing, I was telling a little bit a few minutes ago about invoices. We are able to understand or to search about any document that we have in our company, and we are able to send the information. And for example, imagine if we want or we need approval for an invoice or a budget or whatever, so we can automate all the process also using an OpenAI service. Here we have other use cases, just to show you how it looks in OpenAI. As I was saying, if you want to try it, you can go directly to the website of OpenAI. You have to select the model that you want to use. I think that the one that is available right now is DaVinci 3, is the GPT-3. And after that, in the playground, you will be able to send anything that you want. Here in this example that I have in this slide is to extract information from a text and summarize it. So here we are sending all the customer conversation. Hi there, I just blah blah blah. I have an accident, blah blah blah. And after that, we are sending some instruction to OpenAI. But look that we are not sending something very specific. We are just sending the customer conversation and we are sending some instruction after that. And here the instruction that we are sending to the service is, please extract, well, we are not sending please, but extract the following from the conversation. Main reason of the conversation, sentiment of the customer, blah, blah, blah. And after that, in just few seconds, we will receive the output. And here we are receiving the main reason of the conversation was to report, blah, blah, blah. Also, we received an analysis of the sentiment. So here the service is analyzing what we sent and what we sent from the conversation. So it's able to analyze everything. And in this case here, we are seeing that the agent handled the conversation well and was empathetic. So imagine here in a call center, we have all the conversation. We can automatically send this information to OpenAI, and in just a few seconds, we receive the analysis of everything. And we can do whatever we want. We can send all the instructions that we want to OpenAI. And as I was saying, we can do everything that we can imagine. Here we have another example. This is another call center automation. Here we are sending that you must extract the following information, blah, blah, blah. And here we send the customer conversation that here, as I'm showing to you, is in English, but could be any other language. And we can send the instruction in English, so we will receive the answer in English. But as I was saying, it could be any language. But here, the interesting thing is that we are requesting or we are asking for the answer or the output as a JSON. This is a language that we use, well, the developers use to send the information through the network. So here we are asking for a JSON file or for a JSON text. So we are receiving in the way that we requested. We are receiving everything, the results, the reason, everything. So after that, we will be able to take this information and send directly, for example, to our database or our CRM or whatever we have in our company. We are able to take directly this information that we have analyzed, and we will be able to send information to the other service that we have in our company. Here we have another information. Here we are generating auto text in any other language. Here, for example, we are sending the input in German. I don't understand German. I don't know what we are saying here, but we are asking to OpenAI some instructions that are in English. And here we are asking to generate a formal customer communication in English, offer help, blah, blah, blah. So we are receiving the email that we have to send to this input in English. So as I was saying, imagine the possibilities that we have in this use case. This is something that Microsoft has announced, I think, this week, and they are including in Outlook. In Outlook, in the next releases, we will be able to receive automatically the possibility to answer directly or answer automatically using OpenAI, because OpenAI will analyze the email that our customer is sending to us, for example. So automatically we will be able to send an email that was generated by OpenAI. So as I was saying, again, imagine the possibilities that we have here. And last, here I have a video. As I was saying, I don't want to bother you with the technical side, but what I want to show here how easy it is to create a service in the Microsoft Cloud in Azure, just in few seconds or in just 2 minutes. I was able to create my own service, and I was able to start using the service in my company. What I did in this example is what I was telling you a few minutes ago. I took several reviews of a hotel from TripAdvisor, I think, or another website. I went directly to the reviews of the hotel. I took all the information, copy paste the information. I sent the information to the OpenAI service, and in just few seconds I received the answer. What I was doing here is to create, as I was saying, to create the service. The first step here is that we need to create a model that we will use. That could be whatever we want. Here, you have to know that if we have created a fine-tune model, like I was saying before, if we want to send the knowledge of our company, we have to select the fine-tune model that we have created. But in this case, I'm using the GPT-1 that I have available from OpenAI. And what I'm doing here is that I'm taking all the reviews from TripAdvisor from a hotel. I'm sending all the information, and here I'm saying to the service that I'm sending some reviews, and I want an overall feedback. And what I'm receiving is the hotel seems to be well maintained, blah blah blah. So imagine again the possibilities that we can receive directly the overall feedback, but for example, we can receive if we need to do something urgent. For example, if we have a fridge that is not working, or we have something that is not working in the room, we can automatically process all the information, and we can send automatically the information to the right person. So here, all the possibilities that we have are really incredible. And well, as I was saying, what I wanted to show is how easy is to start using an OpenAI service. In just few minutes, we can create the service, and in just a few seconds, we can send the information and we can receive everything that we want. Here, what probably we need to do is to integrate the service to automatically get the information, to automatically process the information, and after receive it, insert in our database or whatever we want. But this is another thing. As I was saying, just using OpenAI is very, very, very easy. This is another example that we have created. In this case, is pretty similar, but using information from different drugs. We are taking all the information that we have about the different ingredients that we have, some dates, some descriptions. We are taking all the information to the service, and again, in just a few seconds, we are able to make any question about the different drugs that we have available, for example, in our company. This is pretty similar of the fine-tuned model that I was explaining you. In this case, I'm sending the information, for example, from my company. I have several products in my company. I'm sending the information to the service, and in just a few seconds, I have the model trained, and I'm able to ask any question about our company. In this case, I'm asking about these drugs. For example, what can you tell me about these drugs? But I'm able to ask any specific question. For example, here I'm asking about a specific drug, or we can ask about, for example, when this drug was approved for what can I use this drug, or whatever we can imagine. And see, in just a few seconds, we are able to do it. So that's everything from my side. I think I hope that you like it. And what I wanted to show with this picture is that because I'm seeing that a lot of people is afraid probably of losing their job or whatever, but change your mind because as I was saying, as I was showing here, AI will not take your job, but people who know how to use it will. So as I was saying, please start to use artificial intelligence, start to use these services, because I know for sure that will help you in many different tasks and will save you a lot of time. So that's everything from my side. I hope you like it, and thank you so much. And now, Juan Carlos.
Thank you, Mario. Thank you so much for that presentation. And well, yes, we open the floor to questions now. So we have several questions already, but for those of you that were waiting, please send your questions through the question tab that it's in the control panel that probably will appear on your right side, on the right side of your screen, sorry. Click on the question tab and send your questions right away, and we'll be here to answer those. Mario, we have several questions. First one, Ruben is asking, is there a possibility to connect ChatGPT to the internet so it has updated information that you will recommend?
Yes. Well, the the fastest or the simple answer is yes. As I was saying, GPT has all the information that we have available on internet. GPT-3, as I was saying, was trained with information until 2021. GPT-4 will have, I think, until last year or this year. But if we want more information from internet or from a specific site, as I was saying, we will be able to train with the information that we want. We will be able to connect and send information to the service, and we will be able to have like a fine-tuned model for us. But if we are thinking in just the information that is around internet, this is something that we have right now available, because OpenAI is training every day or every hour GPT with all the information that they are finding on internet. So the short answer is yes.
Thank you so much, Mario. One question that I have, you have been showing in the screen several use cases and examples that you've been using, but the interface that we see there is kind of different from the chat GPT that a user sees directly. Is that because there is a different version that the one that you're using inside Azure Microsoft? Or why is that?
We have like two different interfaces. We have probably the one that you have tried is ChatGPT, because it's the most common one, where you have the chat and you can send information. But the playground that I was showing is more the developer interface. Is where we can send information to the machine, and we can send previously some information to test how it behaves. So what I was showing is, in one side, the playground that we have in OpenAI, but in the developer portal, and also what I was showing is the Azure portal with the playground that is the developer interface. But I was saying the developer, but if you want to try, it's not so difficult, because you can go directly and you can send information and you will receive it. But it's more thinking if you want to integrate, and if you want to see the behavior, and you want to take the API and integrate it in your company or in your system. This is why I was showing the playground, because for developers it's much more common to use this interface. But as I was saying, if you want to try it, go directly to ChatGPT, and it's the fastest and the easiest way to start using OpenAI.
Thank you. So the playground is available now for free for anyone that could like to get there. And okay, nice, interesting. More questions that we have. what is the cost of using OpenAI? Because I know that there are some features that are free, and we mentioned a couple of them, but is there a cost of using more advanced features with OpenAI?
Yeah, if you want to try, as I was saying, if you want to try Chat GPT is free. You can go directly and start using. But if you want to integrate or if you want to use OpenAI on Azure, on Microsoft Cloud, you have to pay per token. Per token is a few. Well, in a word, we have like a few tokens. So for every 1,000 of tokens, you will pay, I think that is 2 cents or something like that. It's a very short amount of money. But in this case, if you want to integrate the API or you want to integrate the services in your company, you have to pay. And as I was saying, if you want to use it in Azure, it has some cost.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. One question related with one of the examples that you provided at the beginning of the presentation, and it's in case that two people ask for the same description of an image, would it bring the same result?
No. Every time that you are sending the information, they are using all the information that they are gathering to train again. So next time that, or if you send the same description, probably in your same case, if you try after a few minutes, you will receive something different, because every time that we are sending the information, it's generating a new one. This is an interesting thing, because yesterday we were doing another presentation like this, and we were asking to GPT about something that doesn't exist. We were asking about potato tool or something like that, that something that doesn't exist. But in this case, OpenAI was trying to say, yes, we have the potato tool that is available, blah, blah, blah. But it was lying. And we answered to OpenAI, please don't send me this information, because I was checking on internet and it doesn't exist. And after a few minutes or the next day, we asked the same question, but now OpenAI learned about the information that we sent the other day. So this time the service answered, no, sorry, potato tool doesn't exist. You have something that could be similar, but so every time that we are sending information, the service is learning.
Okay,
So
wonderful. Thank you, Mario. One question related with the previous one. How do we buy the tokens that you mentioned before?
it's I think every two letters, if I'm not wrong, we have a token, more or less. Two, 3 letters is a token, more or less.
But you mentioned before that you need to pay an amount. That's the cost.
Yeah.
But you pay with money.
To buy those. Yes, every 1,000 tokens, you have to pay like 2 cents or something like that. So the way that the system is reviewing your token is that every 2 or 3 letters is a token. So in a word, it depends on the letters that you have. I don't know if I'm answering your question.
Yeah. So it's the name that the system provides to a certain number of letters, and then you pay with money. So you don't need to buy a token to pay with tokens.
No. No, sorry. Probably if you are thinking about cryptos or something like that it has the same concept. No, here is totally different. The token is the way that they call 2 or 3 words. 2 or 3 letters in a word, inside a word.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Mario. Another question: in the fine-tune options that you mentioned before, what kind of information of the company do we need to provide to GPT? Emails or website? What kind of information?
Everything that you want to answer, or everything that you want that the service answers. What I recommend, if you will use the service in public, if you will publish, for example, the service in your website, don't send confidential or private information, because the people will be able to ask about this information. So you can send whatever you want. You can send all the knowledge that you have about your company, and everything that you want to be answered by the service. You can send everything: email, address, services, contact information, everything that you want.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Another question: how can we get social media trends summarizations? Can you give an example?
Yes, well, this is a difficult question, because it depends. If you want to use, for example, Twitter or Facebook, you have their own API. You have a service available from them, and you can integrate these services with OpenAI, and you can analyze everything. But for example, in terms of LinkedIn, they have an API, but it's very difficult to get too much information. I know people that they are developing some tools to access to a browser, open the web page, and take the information using a technique that we call scrapping, but it's more complicated. But the idea is to use an API, or the idea is to go directly to the website, take the information, and store the information in a database, for example, in a database, and send the information to OpenAI, and after that receive the analysis of the information.
So those are things that needs to be done through an API.
Normally, yes, and this is normally is the easiest way. But probably what I could imagine is that probably the social networks will include this service in the next couple of months or whatever, because everybody is integrating artificial intelligence in their product. So hopefully they have this feature available.
Wonderful, thank you. Another question that we got, it's, can you explain how could we ask tasks related to Excel sheets, like, for example, create a table with information provided in another Excel file?
Mm-hmm. That's something very, very interesting, because for sure we have several use cases in that way. Right now, if we want to do something like that, we need to take the text and send it to GPT in the playground or in ChatGPT, and we will receive the instructions that we need to do in Excel in order to get the result that we want. But in the next releases in GPT-4, this is something that will be available. As I was saying, in GPT-4, the main difference is that will be multimodal, because we will be able to send a document, or we will be able to send anything that we want, and we will be able to receive another thing that could be a document, a video, or whatever. So in the next releases of OpenAI, this is something that for sure we will do automatically. For now, if we want to do it, we need to send information to GPT, and we will receive the instructions or the steps that we need to follow in order to get the result. But I have to say that this week, as I was saying, Microsoft has announced several updates, and this is something that will be included directly in Excel. In an Excel file, you will be inside the application, and you will be able to use directly OpenAI, for example, to analyze the information or to create a chart or whatever you want.
Oh, wonderful! That's very interesting, very powerful.
Yes.
Last question, because it's 12:04, but we have a last question that I think is interesting. It's about privacy. You mentioned before that, for example, the example of the image that you create, it belongs to you. But couple of questions here. Does that image or the result belongs to you, even though it's the free use, or it belongs to you only if you are working under Azure Microsoft system. And how in general works the privacy of the data that you share?
Yeah, well, this is a very good question. In terms of the belonging of the, if the picture of the image belongs to you or not. If you are using the OpenAI, I'm not sure. What I know for sure is that you cannot get money. You cannot sell the image on internet. I think that the image belongs to you, but as I was saying, you cannot get money from it. In Azure, for sure is yours, and you can do whatever you want. And in terms of privacy, this is something very, very, very important. If you want, as I was saying, if you want to use in your company, if you are using directly in OpenAI, as I was saying, it's public. But if you are using the OpenAI on Azure, you will have like a private box, and you will have your own OpenAI service with your own model and with your own information that will be only for you, with your own security, your own privacy, your rules, or whatever you have in your company. Only, and this is something that appears in the contract. In the contract, if Microsoft has found something wrong, or you are doing a bad use of the service, they will be able to access to the information, and they will be able to check what was happening or what you are doing with the service. But it's only in this case. This is so important because we are having a lot of different use cases with a lot of companies, and the main concern that they have is the data privacy. Because imagine everyone could access to your company or to your information, or your competitor even could access to your information. So this is something very, very important.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much, Mario. I think that we will be all for now. Thank all the attendees for joining us to this webinar. Of course, thank you, Mario, for those explanations and to shed some light on this interesting topic. For those of you that might be interested in exploring a little bit in more depth about integrating your business with artificial intelligence, you can contact directly Bravent. The contact information is there in the screen. We will also share with you the contact information via email, and also the video of this webinar and the presentation that will be also uploaded to our YouTube channel probably tomorrow. So thanks to everyone for joining this webinar. I hope you enjoyed it and that you will join us in the next one in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much, Mario. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Goodbye now, and have